Welcome to Supercheck, an open source AI powered test automation and monitoring platform built for development and SRE teams. Supercheck brings together everything you need for quality assurance in one place: automated testing with Playwright and K6, uptime monitoring from multiple geographic locations, and incident communication through public status pages. The platform is designed to be self-hosted on your own infrastructure. This gives you complete control over your data, security, and scaling with no vendor lock-in. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through every major feature of the platform. So let's dive in. Okay, so to get started, you can start by self-hosting it. So if you click on this docs link, go to deployment section, you will see the self-hosting section. You have different options. You can host it on one server versus multiple servers if you need multiple geographic locations for the monitor and K6 performance tests. So go through that and you can self-host it. Other option is, if you click on this link, it opens this demo.supercheck.io web app. This is the demo website which you can quickly start. So you have option to get started with Google and GitHub login. For the invited members, they can have a basic auth with username and password. So I'm going to log in with GitHub. So once you log in, you see this dashboard which tells you everything about your project health status, and some key insights. Again, if you're starting first time, you will not see all these details. There are some other tabs. For K6 job analytics, you can compare different runs. You can compare different runs to see if performance is degraded or increased after your changes. So you can compare them. You can even compare with AI, and then it will compare two runs. So we'll see this in detail, but you have that option. Similarly for Playwright, you have it. I'm going to just quickly provide you overview of the application, and then we will go in detail. So this is the dashboard. This is the alert tab where you have notification channel. You have different notification channel, emails like webhook, Telegram, and Discord. So once you configure these notification channels, alerts can be sent after your job complete or monitor status changes. So you have status pages. These are the customer facing status pages. You can configure them. This is just one of the sample. You see all the incidents here, status of your system. You can configure API endpoints, call it API gateway, REST API, or a UI. You can do that. Again, ignore these names. These are just sample names, but you will give proper names when you will configure them. A user can subscribe to these. There are different options here. They can subscribe to it, and then they will be able to receive a update for the incident or any changes. So if I open one of them, you can see that this is just the status page. You have overview, you have all the link monitors here, you have different components. Again, these names will be API gateway, REST API, UIs, depending on how you're configuring. These are all the incidents. You can create incident and notify users. It gives you all the subscribers details, and then there is a status page where you can change the branding, configure other things here. Next is automate section. This is where you will write your Playwright test. You can even get started with AI. We'll have a look at that. You have different templates, so to get started with, same is for K6 also. You can get started with these templates. There is a test form for the test details. You can have different tests, and once this test is run, you can save it. Similarly for performance test, you have go to this option, and again options are similar. You can run it and save it. Once these are saved, you have this test section where all the existing tests are saved here. After that, there is a job section, which is a collection of tests. You can have a job type as Playwright or K6. We will have a look at that. You can schedule them or manually trigger them, or you can trigger them remotely via CI/CD. So we'll see that. Let me run this. This is a parallel execution dialog on the top. It shows you all the running or queued jobs inside your organization. For multiple projects. This is for default project, but if there are multiple projects, you will see that. You can cancel it from here also. Once it is run, it gives you this link, so you can open it. This is a Playwright job. This is a HTML report for the Playwright, which you have seen. Comes from the Playwright only. So we are just showing this in iframe. So It's the same report which comes from Playwright. Again, this is for the past. It gives you the screenshot, but if there is a failure, you will also see a video here and a Playwright trace also, which you can see. We'll see the example of that. So this was the run section where all the job executions are here depending on trigger. These were manually triggered, these were on schedule. Again, there should be one with remote also from the CI/CD. So this is for the K6. This is the K6 report. You have logs. We'll have a look at that. And then this is a variable section. So idea is that you can have variables which are used in your test script. There are also secrets which can be used. Secrets are not logged. You cannot console log them. You cannot see them in report. So also depending on the access control, which you can see here. Coming to the docs, there is a section for role-based access control. Not everyone has access to secrets. So you can see that like view user, read-only user cannot see the secret. So go through this. And I am super admin, so I can see that. So this was the secret, but you will have some API key or something else. Again, this is dummy, so ignore this. So that was automate section. Then there is a monitor section. So you have different monitor: HTTP monitor, website monitor, ping monitor, port monitor, synthetic monitor. Whatever tests you created earlier for the Playwright, you can use them as a synthetic monitor. So here you will give that a frequency, select a test which is already created earlier in the test tab which we just saw. So you can select the test and then run it from different location, and then it will run from those locations. Again, you can configure the alerts which we just saw. So I'll just show you any existing test, any synthetic monitor. So this is a synthetic monitor. You can see this is running from 3 location. Here you get the response time, all the recent checks. You get availability. There is no failure here, but if there is, accordingly this will change. Currently everything is up from last. It gives you 30-day and 24-hour metrics. Again, you can pause it, unpause it. That's it. So there is another section for admin. So for the once you log in, once you sign up, you become organization admin. You have ability to create other projects, invite other members. Again, refer docs for more details, but you will be able to invite other members, give them access to different projects. This will send the invitation email, and which they can accept, and after that they will be able to log in. You also have a audit section where everything which you are doing in app is being added to the audit. So you can see, let's say AI analyze. This was the action type which was done by this user at this time, this date. You can see much more details. So you have complete audit history of every action which is being done in the app. That's it. So now we will quickly spend some more time on this editor for Playwright and K6 and try to run them and save it. Okay, so now let's see the Playground. So Playground is your interactive development environment for writing and debugging text. It uses Monaco editor, the same editor that powers Visual Studio Code, which means you can get full syntax highlight, intelligent autocomplete, and real-time error detection. Editor understands both Playwright API and K6 API, so it gives you type ahead suggestions and some types. So I'll show you that. So this is for the Playwright test. Again, you can get started with any of the test. You have the templates. I'll just choose this one which lets you run different tests on different browsers. So let's see. So let me just type. So it understands Playwright API, like I said. So page, if you just give page dot, so it will give you all the options which are there in Playwright. So go to will, it tells you, it navigates to URL, it gives you different type. So you can, it's like your VS Code editor, you can write your script here. So this is your sample test. This one, if you want to run your browser test on different browsers, so here are some options. You can, this one will run on WebKit, but you can give it, mention mobile, then it will run on iPhone 13. Give it Firefox. Chromium is by default, so you can run that. So let's run this. I'm going to just press run. Here you have options, so you can cancel it from here, or you also see whenever something is running in the parallel execution dialog. So let's wait for it to finish. Alright, so script has executed. It has passed. It also gives you a tag that it ran on WebKit, which is Safari's execution engine. This is a browser, and only the pass tests you will be able to save only if script passes. If script fails, it will not allow you to save. This button will be disabled, so just keep that in mind. We do not want any scripts which is not passed to be used. So platform only allows you to save the pass script. So at this point you can see the full report, expand it, see the full report. Now this has passed, so you only see the screenshot, but if there was a failure, there would have been a video and a Playwright trace also. So I'll show you that. So at this, let me just first save it. So I'll just use some dummy data, give it a tag. Again, you can create some more tag. Let's say this is smoke test, so I can give it a smoke test, choose a color to that tag. Let's give this color, and then I have a new tag. I can have multiple tags. So I'm just going to save it, and now test is now saved in the and it navigates to test page. Now let's see the failed one. I already have an example because it takes some time. So this is the failed scenario. Let me expand this. So this one has failed, and you can see this test has test suite has 3 tests, and one of them has failed, so it has a video and a trace. So let me open this. It took 38 seconds. So you can see that when it fails, it tells you, it also does a retry. Whenever there is a failure, it will automatically do a retry. It tells you the error. Here it the title does not match, so this has failed. So it gives you the screenshot. You have video also, so you can see there is a 16-second video, and there is a trace also. Oops, let's try that one more time. So open the trace. Okay, so trace, this is the trace, this is the Playwright trace. Again, you have at each and every second you can hover over your mouse and see how the page was there. So this is the same Playwright trace. If you're aware of it, it's just that. You can see the network log. You can see the duration, similar to what you have in Chrome DevTools. You can inspect. It will help you in debugging. I'm going to close this. Now let's see other test types. So let's see performance one. So there is an option to AI create and AI fix. So let me just show you how AI fix works. So this is a API test. You can see that this is a Playwright API test using Playwright. So at this assertion, I'm going to fail it. So instead of ID 2, let's say ID 10. So this will fail. So let's run this. Now when this fails, you will see instead of AI create, it will change to AI fix. It will detect the failure and it will give you that option. So as expected, it has failed. Instead of 1, now it sees 10 in the output. Assertion failed. It tells you it has failed. Also, you have this option. So I'm going to press this AI fix. What it's going to do is, AI at this point has access to this report. It knows your test. It has failure details, and it will be able to fix it. So let's do that. So now it's making a call to AI API, and then in the real time it's streaming the script, and it has fixed it. So it says that AI has fixed it. It is 100% confident that this is correct fix. It gives you some more suggestions on the top. On the left you see the original script, and on the right what AI has generated. So not only it has fixed, it has also enhanced it. It added some more useful comments, which you can see. And where is the step? So this was a issue. It had 10. Let's see if it is fixed. Okay, so it has changed it to 1. It gave some helpful comment also. At this point you have option to either reject it if you don't like it, or you can accept it. So this is correct. I'm going to accept it. Now in the editor it should have changed it to 1. This is the new script which AI generated. Now I'm going to run this again. Hopefully this should pass. Okay, so it has passed now, at this point, because script has passed, it will allow you to save. um, so yeah, there are other tests: database test, API test, custom test. So anything which does not fit into this category, or you need a combination of all three, you can call it a custom test. But yeah, it's just combination of any one of these, or something which is not covered, you can call it a custom test. So let's go to performance tests. Again, similar to Playwright, you have some templates to get started with. You have stress test, spike test, endurance test, soak test. You have some protocol, WebSocket, gRPC. So let's choose any one. So let's see, which one should we choose. Let's keep it simple. Let's see the basic performance test. So I'm going to use AI create for this. So you can see this is a basic K6 script which has these options. It runs for 5 user for 30 seconds, and it has some threshold. Again, if thresholds are not met, this will fail, and then it makes a call to this URL, and it does some assertion. So let's use AI create. Now at this point you can ask AI to create something, give it every detail, or you can just ask it to edit the existing script which you have loaded. So just remember, whenever you open any script, AI has context of what you see. So if you ask question related to that script, AI already has context, so it will give you a better answer. So in our case, if I ask anything, AI already has access to this. So instead of, I want to run this for, let's say, 100 users, and I want to have error percentage of 2% instead of 1%, and P95 duration of 100 milliseconds, 1000 milliseconds, 1 second. So let's just ask AI. So I'm just going to ask it, change this performance test to run for 100 users, 100 virtual users, and change HTTP request duration P95 threshold to 1 second, and error rate to 2%. Don't change anything else. Okay, so this is my request. This is all what I asked. So again, 100 users, let's duplicate. So let's say for 100 virtual users, change HTTP request duration P95 threshold to 1 second, and error rate to 2%. Okay, I'm just going to ask it to generate. So now it's making a call to AI. Like I said, it already had context, so now it has done that in the real time. You could see that now. Let's see if it has done. So we asked for 100 users, so it has changed virtual user to 100 users, P95 of 1 second, and error rate of 2%. So everything is changed. It also updated the response time duration. Okay, so I'm just going to accept it, and I'm just going to run it. So for the performance test, when you run it, it is going to ask you location, because it's important where your load generator is. So currently these 3 locations are supported: US East, EU Central, and Asia Pacific. So you can generate load from these 3 locations. So if you keep this option as global, then what it will do, it will just choose any one which is available. You can do, if location is not important to you, you just use global, and it will just use any available location. If you want to run it, if you want your load generator load to be coming from US East, you select this option, and then load will be coming from US East. Similarly, you can choose any of this location. Let's see, I'm just going to select US East here, and I'm just going to run test. Okay, so now you will see the real time. In the real time, the load is being applied. You can see the virtual user started from 0, 100, 300, and the percentage. Now it's 46% complete. Again, this is very small performance test, so it will just run for 30 seconds. But yeah, you can, maximum number of virtual users are supported up to 1500, which is quite a lot. So you can load test up to 1500 virtual users. Alright, so test is now complete, and it has also given you the report. This is similar to Playwright. This is coming from now K6. This is a HTML report. It gives you all the details, gives you summary. You can see all the requests, how much time they took, average, max, min, P90, 95, all those summary are there. You can see again some details about HTTP traffic, duration, transfer rate, number of users. You also have the logs which we just saw. You can go back and see that, and here you will see that all the thresholds, you will see check mark here because it says met, otherwise it will fail if it does not meet it, and you can see that everything is correct, everything has passed. So at this point you can again save your test, give it a tag. I'm just going to say performance and save it, and this will be available in your test tab, and then you can use this in job. You can run it as part of CI/CD manually or schedule it. So I'm going to do that. So now it has created this test. Again you can open it again you can edit it. Let's say I just edit something, you can update it. The only thing you have to keep in mind, if you change anything in the script, this is another test, not the one which we just saved it, but if you change anything in the script, let's say I change it to 60-second, just remember this is going to change and it will ask you to run the script. So without any change in the script, it will ask you to run. Update button is disabled. Unless you now run it and it get passed, it will not allow you to save. So just keep that in mind. I think that's it for the test. Once test is created, you can create a job. When you create a job, you can create Playwright job or K6 job. So let's create a Playwright job. Just use the dummy data. You can schedule it. So you have a scheduler, you can clear it if you do not want it to be running regularly, or you can just say I want it every hour. So it tells you that next when there will be next run. Also there are 50 tests per job, so there is a limit. You can have 50 tests. So if you click on it, these are all the tests which are coming from your test tab. So there are only 7 tests currently. So you can select them. Again, depending on how you select them, the sequence, that's how they will run. So if I select in this sequence, then only these tests will run, and in the sequence which is mentioned here. So I'm going to add select test. You can enable alerts. So you have all these alert types. You can mention the failure threshold, a recovery threshold when you want to be alerted. You can add new channels from here. I have only one configured, but imagine you have, so email test, give it your email as test.test. Then you have created a new provider, and then you can select that also. Similarly, you have other provider, and then you can create a job. Now this is the one we just created. Now it's pending. You can run it, and then let me show you. So let's run a K6 one, let's run a Playwright one. Again, you can run more. Just remember that there is a running capacity here. So depending on, you can configure this. If you're in the self-hosting instruction, you will see that, but you can depending on your hardware, you can configure the running capacity. The idea is that because K6 tests especially consume more memory, more resources, CPU and memory, so you do not want to have ability for someone to run test 10 job in parallel, which your underlying infrastructure cannot support. So for that you have this running capacity, so that only in this case only 2 jobs or tests will run in parallel, and remaining will go in queue. Whenever running capacity is free, they will be pulled from queued queue, they will move to running queue. We just saw that in this video, that queued execution moved to running once this was free. So this is configurable, you can change it, but this is that idea. Yeah, and then you have these runs. Again, you can expand the report, see that. Let's also see this K6 analytics tab. So currently there are 2 K6 jobs which are configured. Again, ignore the names, you will name them better when you will use it, but this is one job. What if I want to compare? Let's say this is my job which runs after every release. Let's say this runs on every Monday morning after I do a weekend release. So what if I want to compare if my performance is degraded or improved after the last weekend release. So you can actually go and select the date and time of that run. This is a baseline, this is compare it. It gives you this table, so you can have a look at this table and get the idea. You can even see both the reports side by side. So if you click on it, you can see both the reports side by side here. So let's see the trend here, summary. You can do that. Even better is you have this AI analyze button. If you click on it, AI is going to read both this report. It has access to both the reports, and it gives you the summary and analysis. So I'm going to do that. Let's compare them. So now AI is streaming the response in the real time. It has access to both the reports. It's reading them and telling you, giving you recommendations. So you can, this is the executive summary, read more about it. Here these are both the runs, both of them have passed. It has compared all the important metrics. Go through that. So recommendation, okay, so there is some recommendation. It says P99 responses increased, and it says overall system is stable, no further action necessary at this time. Okay, so there's some recommendation but no significant action. So AI can analyze this. This is just a sample one which you just saw, and give you the summary. So if you don't understand or don't want to understand the performance metrics, you can just ask AI to summarize them. Okay, so similar to that, for the Playwright also, you can just select the job and see how many run frequency on which day, how many pass, how many failed. Here, like you can see that there is one failure. From here you can select the drop down. Again, there is not enough data for 90 days, but you will see that accordingly you can see the data. Okay, now let's see for the monitor. So monitor, depending on which monitor you are creating, you have different options. You can create HTTP monitor, website monitor, ping monitor. So let's just create one. So just use the dummy data. So let's just use google.com, check frequency, I'll keep it 1 minute. Expected status, I'll see just 200, any 200 is fine. You can have option to even have a specific code. I want to check SSL certificate. I mean, if there is a authentication required, then you can select it. If your web app needs, there are two authentication supported, basic auth and bearer token. This one doesn't need, so I'm not going to do that. There is also option to content validation. You can check if something is present or absent on that web page. So I will not do that here, but if this is your API test, even for the web app, you can check if something is present on the API response or on the page. Just a content validation. And I'll go to next. I'll let it run in 3 locations. That's fine. There is aggregation strategy. So if all of monitors are up or any location is up, majority is up, to determine the pass status or failure status, so you can select it. I'm just going to say as long as 50% are up, let's call it, let's make them pass. So then, similar to job, there is an alert section. You can configure it. I'm going to create monitor now. So as soon as created, it does a run first time. So it has run. Again, now it will keep on running. So currently it will keep on running on 1 minute frequency as we have set up. So yeah, that's the monitor we have already seen. Let's see this HTTP monitor. Yeah, this is HTTP monitor. Yeah, so that's monitor. Alright, so there's one more thing I wanted to show you. So there's a variable section here. So if you open it, there are a few variables here. Let me close this. These are all the runs which happened. So it shows you that. So these are all the variables which are there. You can add some more. So you can see there are types. So variables are just like the name suggests, these are variable, and these are type of secret. Again, depending on the role-based access which you have, you either can see the secret, otherwise you will not be able to see that. So read more about that in the documentation. So in the role-based access control, there are details. Also, I would suggest for everything else, go through the documentation. There are a lot of things which I have not mentioned, which are covered there. So you can go through each of the section. Hopefully, you will find everything which you are looking for in the documentation. If I have not covered, so yeah, just go through the documentation. So here you can see how to use that variable. So in the this is the Playwright example, but similarly you can use this in K6. So here it is using the variable. Again, for the secret there is a get secret, and then you provide the secret name, and then now here this base URL is there in app underscore URL, which you can use in your test. So yeah, for the things which will be used across your project, you can save them in a variable instead of hard coding them in test. That's a concept of variable. And for the secret, you can keep like API keys or basic auth passwords, things like secret. You can keep them in secret. All right. So the other thing which I also wanted to cover was, let's go to job. Um, I we have not seen how to trigger job remotely. So if you open a job, this is what you see. Some more details also how to trigger it remotely. You see it here. It says you need your API key token. So how to do that? So if you edit your job, before that there is a test tab also here. So you can see all the tests which are included. If you click on it, it will take you to the test. Open a new browser and the editor. So we want to see how to trigger it remotely. So you have to edit a job and then go to CI/CD section. So if I click on CI/CD, I have this section where I can create new keys. So you can see there is already one which I created. So you have an option to create new, give it a name. So let's say I want to trigger it from Jenkins CI/CD. I can give that name. You can have expiry date. So let's say I want it to expire on 30th of December, and you can create it. At this point, it just tells you that you have to copy this. This key will not be shown again. So you copy this. You can actually see this, and then copy this, and then you can close it. So I'll say I've copied. Now it says I have two jobs, and here if you click on this, it tells you how to trigger it. So basically you can trigger these jobs by curl command. There is an example GitHub action stage, so you can copy this and paste in your GitHub action. Similarly, in your GitLab pipeline, you can have this stage. All it needs is the API key which you just copied. So I already have a example, so let me show you that. So this is the, if you see on my screen, this is the curl command which we just added. This is specific to the job ID, and it has this bearer token which we just copied. So I'm going to enter it, and you will see something in the platform. It will trigger that job. You will see that in running stage. So let me just enter this. This is how you will trigger the jobs remotely. Okay, so it has given me a response and it has started this execution. So at this point I can go to runs tab, see something is running, it is triggered remotely. Okay, it has passed. You see this notification here. So this had 3 tests. Now it says this is triggered remotely. So yeah, this is how you trigger your Playwright jobs with CI/CD. Yeah, I think I've covered everything which is there. Yeah, there is a status page section also. So these are your external facing status pages. So you can create some more. So let me create this one, and then once you create it, you get this option where you can link monitors to your status page. So first of all, you will create a component. Let's say you have a API server or API gateway or REST API or UI. Give that component a name, give a description, give it a status, and you can link the monitors. So these are all the monitors, HTTP request, synthetic monitor, which are already configured, you can link them. The idea is you come here. Let me just give it some dummy name. Just create this, and now it shows all the linked monitors which are there. So the idea is when you come to this status page, you can quickly see if all the monitors you have set up for that status page are up or not. If anything is down, you can create an incident. Again, this is not automatically done. For now, this is manual. So once if you see any monitor is down, you check the application status, you see there is an issue, you create an incident out of it, give it an impact, give it a status, currently it's investigating, and then the affected component, set the status of affected component. These are all the options available. I'm going to say yeah, partial outage. I'm going to create an incident. So now at this point, the status page is not published yet. You can preview it internally. If I click on preview, you can see this is how the end user will see this. We just created an incident. You can see that also. This is the incident we just created. Now this is currently status page is not published. This is the internal view. This is how end user will see it. Once you are happy with it, you can go back to status page again. This is the one we just created. It is currently in draft mode. You can see some of them are published. So go to manage. Now at this point, if you open this, I'm going to show you, it will show you status not found because you have not published the status page. So let's publish it. So here you have option to publish the status page. Before that, if you want to change few things, let's say you can give it some logo, favicon icon. You can even map your custom domain to it. There are some instructions. So you can map your custom domain, say change some subscription settings here, change the name, description, other options here. So you can do that. And once you're happy with it, you can publish it. And after that, it tells you it is published. And if you go to the URL again, let me open it here, then it should show you that. Now the status page is published. Again, this is on this domain. Again, you can use it, but you may want to configure your own domain. So for that, there was a setting which you can change, and then you can say, let's say your domain is acme.com. So you can configure the DNS. Again, instructions are there, and then it will go to that domain. End user can come here and subscribe. So these are all the options available to end user. If they're interested in your status page, they can configure this and subscribe, and then they will get all the notification when you change incident or add new, they will be notified. So let's see this one. This one has a logo of YouTube. Just this is an example. Again, name, give it a name. This is a dummy name. It has two components. Again, you will call them API gateway, let's say REST API or UI. But you can see that there are some options. It currently is 100% uptime. There are no incident. Again, option is there to subscribe. So yeah, these are your status pages, customer facing status pages. The last option I want to show you is for the admin section. So when you sign up, you become the organization admin. You have option to, you will see this option admin. You will not see super admin unless you add your email to super admin. Again, instructions are in documentation. So read more about super admin and organization admin. There are more instruction about it. So read that in detail. So you can create new project here. So organization can have number of projects. You create new projects. You can invite members to those to the projects in your organization, give them different access, and then depending on the email address, when you send invite, they will receive an email invitation. And again, instructions are there. So you can see this. I'm not going to do that, but you see there is an email to for this example, there is a project editor role which user is invited. Then they see this option, they accept the invitation, and then they join it, they log in, and then they will see the access which you have provided. Accordingly, they will see the application. There is also a audit section. So whatever action are done are audited. So everything is recorded. So you can see that. The other option is for super admin. So super admin is someone who is responsible for the instance of the Supercheck platform. So it can have multiple organizations. So you have some other option for super admin. So you can see there are different organizations. What super admin can do, they can impersonate users. So if I want to impersonate this organization owner, I can impersonate it, and again this will be logged, so that's what there's a warning. But now I can see what this user see. I can look into that organization if they're facing any issues. If there is a script which is not working, you can impersonate the user, check it, fix any issue, try running as that user. Now this is this user, and then look into that issue. After that, you can stop impersonation, go back to your super admin. You can impersonate all the organizations. Also you have option, because this is how internally it works. So if this, as an end user, you don't need to know this, but if you are a super admin and you want to know how your application is performing, all the organization, all the projects, all the jobs which are being run, this gives you that one stop dashboard for all the queues which are in the application. So you can see all the jobs are running currently. For K6 UACs, there is only one. For Playwright Global, there are 68 execution. All of them have passed. You can see everything detailed, so you can debug it if anything fails. So yeah, this is for someone who is maintaining the instance. For the super user, they can have this access. I think that is all I wanted to cover. If there is if you need more details, go through the documentation. If you find any bug or something is not working, raise a GitHub issue, and we'll look into that. And if you like this project, go ahead and give it a star. Alright, thank you for your time.